Welcome everybody. I'm the host this week. We rotate around, and this week I get to host 3 moms and a dad. And today it's 2 moms and a dad.
Yeah.
So we have got special guest Ashley Yath with us,
Hello.
who's back for more We Didn't Scare You Away last time.
No, of course not.
And we'd love to get your opinion on this because you have many children and you've got lots of hacks. And we've got, of course, Tracy Humphrey.
Hey.
So this is how this show works. We get together and we talk about various things that go on in the parenting world. And just so you know, even if you're not a parent, you can comment if you've observed things that work for you. If you're a babysitter, if you've got nieces or nephews. Look, we want your advice. We're greedy. We don't know everything. And we are here to learn and share because we want the point of this show to make you feel like you're not alone in this whole process. So again, it's called 3 Moms and a Dad. We're going to take it down a notch because we've got 2 moms and 1 dad. So the topic of today's show, and I chose this again because I partially use this show for my own selfish reasons because I need to learn more. I'm stuck. I got 3 kids and it's getting busy. So I wanted to know, what are your parenting hacks? Now, when I say hack,
what's that mean?
You know, there's advice. Like when you have kids, they'll say, hey, you know, make sure you feed them fruits and vegetables. Make sure that they get to bed on time. Make sure they brush their teeth. That's advice. That's all fine and dandy when it's working. I want to know hacks. I want to know when things are not working well. How do you get through it in your own way? Because every kid's different, every family's different. How do you get through it in your own way just to make it work so you're doing the best you can? The kids are getting what they want for the most part, and you're just moving this train down the tracks. So again, what are your parenting hacks? We put this out a couple days ago on Facebook. We've got a lot of comments. Tracy's going to put out the comments.
I'm all over it.
And I'm going to start off with my first one, and then we'll hear from Ashley and Tracy on theirs. So my 3 that we'll go through are don't stress out about being on schedule. Number 1 thing everyone's going to say, get them on a schedule. Get them on a schedule because it works for the parent. It works for the kid. Kids like schedules. They seem to behave better on a schedule. I understand all of that, but don't stress out about it when you're off schedule. A baby carrier is one of the best things I think that works for mom, works for dad, and works for kid. One thing that you buy that lasts for years and years and you pass it on to the other kids. I'll talk more about that. And then also bring pajamas for the kids when you're traveling, especially for those late nights. And that goes back to the being on a schedule. So if you go on YouTube, just so you know, is the 2nd largest search engine in the world behind Google. So people just type in the question. So I typed in the question, which is how to live not on a schedule with a kid.
That's a lot of
Nothing comes up. Everything is about getting on a schedule. And so many people put this advice out because it works. Let's face it, you get up in the morning and you've got another mouth to feed and you've got to get through the day, right? Many mouths to feed.
Many for me.
And what you find is, okay, if this is their time right now, and then it's their time later, and it's always their time. So when is it going to be your time? So a lot of families gravitate toward this set in stone schedule for feeding, for napping, for going to bed, and all of that. What I want to offer up is, you know what? It's really stressful.
Having a schedule?
Yes. And in my observation, both with trying to do it myself and with observing others, it is really difficult. It is hard on the kid and on the parent to be really strict on the schedule because you're like, you're supposed to nap right now. And they're like, and then they figure out what the schedule is and the kid's going to do the other thing. So what are your thoughts on that? Does the schedule work for you? When you go off schedule, are you okay with it? My advice is don't worry about the schedule. Just do the best that you can.
When I feel like I am trying to get on a schedule or follow up with the schedule, I feel like I'm competing with time or I'm racing against time. It's like a competition, and I just feel like it puts way too much pressure on me. So I am not for the schedule. And when I try to get on a schedule, like you said earlier, it doesn't always happen that way. When I plan accordingly, that's when everything is a disaster and the kids are cranky that day and everything seems like it's just falling apart and there's just too much pressure on me. So no, I do not agree with the schedule. I may have a time frame that I would want the kids to go to bed, and I'll give myself a grace period after that.
Time frame,
grace period.
We need more grace in this world. Let's start with the kids' schedule. So I love that. Tracy?
Okay, so I tried the schedule too. Because, you know, we always have this pressure of trying to get it right. I think when we're overachievers, professionally, we overachieve at home. So I was really strict because everyone told me to do it a certain way. And I realized I was overwhelmed. I wasn't doing it. I was stressed out, and I think my energy was then passing on to my daughter because I was frenetic trying to get things done, rushing, and you're jumping in the car, you're doing all this type of stuff, and I think she was spazzing out because I was spazzing out. So I had to realize no schedule. The only schedule I really stick to is bedtime.
Yeah.
Everything else I'm very loosey-goosey on. Yeah. And it's helped.
And it works
getting
for
the
you.
kids to school on time. That's one schedule we have to stick to.
I had to let that go. I was like, so we walk in late. It's okay. It's okay.
So what if
Oh, I got some comments.
Yeah, and let's get some. Actually, you know what? Let's start with your first. When we brought up this idea about hacks, do you have one that comes to mind that is top of mind to you that really has worked over the years?
Yes, this has really worked for me, and I have friends that always compliment me on this hack. Cleaning. How many of you guys are at home right now with a mess surrounding you and you do not want to clean it right now? Leave a comment if that's you right now. Well, this is my cleaning hack. My cleaning hack is I clean before I go to bed. Yes, that's
so. What time are you going to bed?
I go to bed around 9:30. I put the kids to bed around 8:30. I go to bed around 9:30.
It only takes you an hour to clean?
Well, this is my hack. I clean while the kids are sleeping. I have nobody in my way, and I'm in a rush to go to bed that I clean very quickly so I could get in bed on time. No distractions, peace and quiet to myself, and it's almost like my alone time. And
so
I
you're
spend
not cleaning, you're straightening.
Oh no, I'm cleaning. I sweep, I mop, I do the dishes. I can move fast in that hour when I don't have the kids around me messing up every second.
Right, because anytime you're cleaning, they're uncleaning.
They're uncleaning, and then in the morning, you're basically just tidying up from what the kids do to go to school. And I'll just, as my 3-year-old messes up throughout the day, I just go behind him cleaning. So that's how I keep my house clean. That's my life hack. Because if I wait till in the morning, I'm not going to feel like cleaning, especially with my toddler next to me being so demanding.
Okay, can I
That's
just
a
say,
really good one. That's a really good one. I love it.
there's no way I could clean my house in an hour. There's no, I need
Try my life hack.
I need 3. I think you're starting probably at a base level of 6, and I'm starting at a 3 because it takes me 2.5 hours.
After practice,
clean.
you will get really good at it.
Okay.
Yes, you'll get really good, and you'll be surprised if you're focused and you're ready to go to bed how fast you can clean your house.
When I clean, I end up going to bed after midnight. By the time I move, seriously, by the time I move the kitchen is an hour.
Yep.
By the time everything you cook, you put everything away, you got to wash, are you going to clean out the dishwasher, are you going to wait for later, are you going to set out things for breakfast?
See, dishwasher, 5 minutes.
Really?
5 minutes. You just rinse those dishes off, put it in, press the start button, wipe the counters off, and sweep them off.
I don't use the dishwasher.
Very fast.
I love it. But you're paying attention.
I'm paying attention. I'm not distracted
You're doing
with the
little
kids
things during the day, and then the final moment
at night when everyone is
Okay,
sleeping.
Ashley need to come to my house because I need help.
I will.
Do you have a quick one top of mind before we get to comments?
My top of mind would be, I wrote them down. I use bath time to regroup for me. So what I do is I tell my daughter, I was like, okay, bath time. And she's like, Mommy, I took a bath yesterday. Yeah, we take them every day. So I run a whole lot of bubbles. I put lavender oil in, and I take all of her favorite toys, and I try to make it so I think she'll be in there at least 20 minutes. And while she's in there, it gives me an opportunity to do all the things I couldn't do. So I love bath time because it gives me a chance if I need to just do me for a second. So mine is bath time.
And we should mention that your child Jules is older. She's safe
I
to
can
be in the
leave her in there. Like,
Yeah,
yo,
exactly.
very good, very good. So Jules is 7.
Just so we're in the
I
clear
can leave
here.
her alone, and she's okay. Every now and then, she's like, Mommy, will you bring me something to drink? I'm like, okay. So I take it. Mommy, can you make it ice cold water? I'm like, okay, you tripping. Like, really? I'm supposed to be on Tracy time. So by the time you do all the walks in and out, I probably end up about 15 minutes.
The closed door bath.
But 15 minutes is a lot.
It is when you need it. Exactly.
When you need it.
Every minute is an hour
Right?
for yourself. So what are people saying?
So I have a couple comments. This is one from Kristen C. She said, having a tough day with your kids, just add water. Go swimming, put them in the tub with toys, go outside, turn the sprinklers on, use water balloons, fill up bowls of water in the kitchen, and let them play with spatulas and spoons. It's almost an instant game changer. So that means she's doing a lot of cleaning too. And then we have Lisa, who said, my son hated going to sleep, so my deal was, okay, stay up as late as you want. Complain of being tired or your grades slip, privileges over. So he's obviously older, but that's a good one.
I hate to admit this. My mom had that rule in the house.
Really?
Especially in the summer. I used to watch David Letterman when he was on NBC. So that was after
that was
the
a long
Tonight
time
Show.
ago.
So I was.
That was Johnny Carson.
Yeah. So I was obviously up way too late. But the days that I suffered, she said, "Get up, let's go. We got summer school. We have this. We have that." And you know what? I learned really quickly that maybe it's just a Friday night thing.
Okay.
All right. Any comments on Facebook?
Oh, okay. So here I am. Rob Carmark is watching. Oh, oop, that's you.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't normally do comments. Okay,
That's
this
my
is-
private account.
Someone said, Dimitri says a barber chop.
Okay. So
I have no
not a lot
idea
of
what that
comments.
is. I don't know what
So
that is.
so we'll move on to the next one. So here's another one that I think we have a lot of new dads that come up to me and they say, "Hey, my wife's pregnant. We're gonna anything you can tell me?" And I say, "There's one thing that you put on the registry, and it is this. This I think is probably the you go into Bye Bye Baby and some of these other things.
Yeah.
You're overwhelmed. It's one of the greatest businesses of all time because the desire to buy things to help the baby in the world coming in, you'll just buy anything or ask
you
for
will.
anything. You also have the least amount of information about how any of this stuff works or what's useful. So I want to step in and to say, if you get anything, get this. It is a baby carrier. Because one of the hardest things for a dad, this is a side comment here.
And then I'm going
So
to
here's
buckle it
something
the
on YouTube. There's many out there. You can pick and choose which one that you want. But these are the Baby Bjorns, the Ergo. There's a bunch of these things, but I personally think that this is the best for a dad, and I'll tell you why.
Tell us.
When the babies are really young, they want mom. They look for mom for comfort. They've been with mom for 9 months already. They look for mom for food, and the dad just feels like they want to help, but they can't do anything. And then you hand a dad a baby, and the baby fusses, and they're like, "Oh, I don't know, it must be hungry," right? All the time, must be hungry. But as a dad, you really need to step it up because mom needs those 15 minutes. So get that baby carrier, strap that baby to you, because then all of a sudden the baby's at ease. This is something that the baby's used to.
The warmth, your heart.
The smell, the more they're around you, they smell you, they identify with you. There's lots of bonding. They can look at you. And, you're still a dad, and you're part of the team to get the house together. And the one thing that I think is always a shock to new parents is that you lose your hands. Because you're always holding a baby.
You do.
Exactly.
And
you don't
bouncer.
mind it, and it's part of the whole process. But you still have to take out the trash. You still have to mow the lawn. You still have to do dishes. There's things that you still have to do. And that baby carrier, in an instant, you get your arms back. So you're bonding. You become useful again for both mom and also for baby and for yourself. So get one of those baby carriers. And then as they get older, you strap them on your back. We take them hiking. You just throw it in the car, baby carrier all the way.
I'm going to tag team off that. I tried to do the one that's the wrap with the cloth, but I could never get the baby in tight enough.
Oh, really?
So I would say I would get the one that had the clasp and it actually snaps, because on YouTube you're like, oh, all I have to do is wrap it
They
around.
make it seem so easy on YouTube.
But it's not.
Yeah.
And so the baby starts sinking and you're like, okay, you're trying to do stuff. So
I quit. I gave up on it. I had one and I quit, but my husband used it.
See?
He used it everywhere we went. We used it. I just learned how to just do everything with one hand. And he used the baby carrier.
Oh, I like it.
So it did come in handy for dad.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, maybe start with dad, but with the wrap thing, my wife has a wrap. And, there's like 50 million different styles that you can do it. She has the one she knows, and then does that because every other time you're watching YouTube for 5 minutes, you're like, I can't figure this out. This is origami.
How old is your new baby?
It's 4 months.
So that's wrapping age. Yeah, so you're wrapping.
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
So I have a few more comments.
Yeah.
So candy hidden in the vegetable drawer. That was Hugh. Here's the thing. I heard that and I knew that was a dad comment. I knew a mom would not say candy hidden in the vegetable drawer. But hey, Hugh, if it works and gives you 15 minutes, we are all over it. The next one is give your children chores. This is from Darylyn, that are age appropriate. Help them to learn responsibly.
Definitely.
Have everyone share one good thing that happened to them that day. It teaches them to be positive. And last but not least, read with 2 exclamation points.
To piggyback off of that comment that was just mentioned about telling your children to give you one good thing that happened that day. I actually was going to share that because that's what I do with my kids. Except I do mine a little different.
Okay.
When I pick them up from school on the car ride home, we're all in our SUV, and I tell the kids to share 2 good things and 1 bad things about school.
Okay.
About what happened at school. And so we're all hearing the things that happened at school, and they all kind of keep us in touch with one another and in sync together.
I like
and with the bad thing, they'll tell me what happened, and we'll figure out a solution together of how to overcome that bad thing. So it gives us a lot of bonding time. And I feel like now, sometimes I don't even have to ask the kids. They automatically come in the car and tell me how their day was. And I think it keeps us really connected and bonded because as your kids get older, they start talking less to parents and mom and dad, and they start talking more to friends, but it just keep us together and to keep us close and having a strong relationship.
I have a question. Do you bring snacks when you pick your kids up from school?
I do for the younger 2. For the older 2,
that's
no.
a hack for
but
me.
For the younger 2,
Because
yes.
it puts them in a
That's
good
good.
mood. You guys, and my daughter's always like, "Ooh, mommy, what do you have today?" So I try to bring good snacks, and it's set. If I have to do errands, she's already in a good mood.
That, that is a really good one too, because we don't realize, because they're only at school, especially when they're young, like 3 hours. Oh, they couldn't. I just fed them before, but they probably didn't eat that much before they went to school. And then they get to school, and then if they don't like snack, they usually they won't eat it. They won't tell you, oh yeah, of course I ate snack, and then they're starving, and then they get hangry.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, so snack them up hard in that car.
And they're not nice. They're not nice when they're hangry. I have a couple more comments.
Yeah,
How about this
okay.
one? This is from Tom D. He says, "Look into each other's eyes when speaking. You have attention that way. Number 2, use a soft voice so that they have to lean in to hear." You talked about that one the other day, Rob. And number 3, have them paraphrase what they just heard and then repeat it back to you.
I love
to
that.
make sure they're listening.
I love that last one.
I love this one so much. I want to thank Tom. I thanked him already on Facebook.
Thank you, Tom.
But if you're watching, eye contact. I won't use the slow voice or the soft voice, because then I'll just get a little weird. But I want to thank you, because I read that. And again, part of the show is that we don't know everything. Let's try it out, right? You know, you're like clean at night. Try it out, Tracy.
Yeah.
Come on. Don't let it go.
Okay. All right.
We're going to follow up on that. But I listened to that, and my 2-year-old had this tantrum, and so I put him in timeout. I don't want to sit there and hold the door. I feel so bad. I have to hold the door, and it like tugs on the other end.
Yeah.
But they're kind of like a monster when they're in their mood. So I'm like, I'm gonna try this. So I opened it up, and I got down on his eye level. And I said, "Hey, buddy, come here. I need to talk to you." And he's crying. "No, I need to tell you something. Listen, I want you to go up and apologize to mommy. Okay, do you understand?" And then after that, give her a big sloppy kiss on the cheek. "Oh, okay." So we're distracting, which is a good one. And then he had to lean in and get into it, and then he did it, and he apologized, and the family was back, and we finished dinner. So Tom, thank you for that one. I tried it out that night, and it worked. And also, I noticed that somebody else commented. Do we know who this person is on Facebook?
Oh, Courtney Carmark. Sounds familiar. Hey, Court, how are you? That's Rob's wife. She said we've used the same Ergo with all
now.
3 of our babies. But he has also a really good video of Courtney, and they tried something out.
Yeah. We'll get to the final hack, but you had some more on here that people were.
I do.
on.
I have a couple more. So here we go. Actions have consequences. Make sure they know this and follow through. This is by Fran. 4 kids, and each one had a different consequence, because what matters to one may not be relevant to the other.
That's very true.
My daughter, it was the phone. My 2 oldest, video games. My youngest, the ability to go outside to play.
Are you sure those aren't my kids?
You have experience because you have many kids.
Yes.
So what do you think about that? Does that resonate with you?
Yes, it does, because I have the oldest who loves her cell phone, and I feel like she is going to die if
She's
she doesn't.
13 though.
She's 13.
That's a good age
If
to
she can't
love your
talk to
cell
her
phone.
friends, she doesn't have social media yet because we don't allow that yet until high school. Okay. But when she does not have her cell phone, she doesn't know what to do with herself. Yes, she loves her cell phone. So if I take her cell phone away, that's enough punishment for her. Wow. And then the middle one, he loves video games. So if I take video games from him, he is just does not know how to react. He will hate it so much. Mom, what can I do to earn my video game back? And he's really trying to get his video game system.
I took the blue light out of my daughter uses the iPad, and I swore the more she was on it, the more intense I would take it from her, or we were done with it. And she was like, why can't I have it? I'm like, whoa, whoa.
I know.
You know,
Yeah.
I feel like video games do that to kids.
Yeah.
They put them on the edge.
So I took the blue light out because
Yeah.
it's supposed to make them, I think, more
I should try that.
heightened.
Like less stimulation.
Yes.
And you know what? We're going to do a whole show on devices. 'Cause I
Yeah.
feel like that's like the modern day challenge. You know, every generation has challenges. I feel like there's some benefit every once in a while,
Yeah.
but man, there's a lot of downsides. So we will spend more time talking about that. Tracy, do you have a quick hack before we get into my final one?
Okay, so this is one I did not too long ago. Okay, so sometimes we do play dates. Play dates are for kids, but play dates are also for parents. So I had a play date with my daughter, and she goes, "Yeah, right."
Like, have you ever noticed there's no play dates unless the parents like each other?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, let's go over to Steve's house. I think they're busy all summer long.
So I had this one, Robin and Amaya. Robin is the mom, Amaya is the young daughter. So she says to me, "Hey, Tracy, Amaya was talking about having a play date." I was like, "Yes." So she's like, "Okay, maybe after school." I'm like, "Yeah, that works for me." So she said, "You can just drop her off." Initially, I felt the pressure to stay. And then she says, no, you can just come back and pick her up. I had 2 whole hours. I didn't know what to do with myself. So I actually went to this natural food store. I know Robin loves the natural food. So I got her a loaf of bread and I had it sliced. And when I came back and picked up Jules, I had a gift for her. So I
That's
feel
so
like
nice
when
of
you
you.
give a small, thoughtful gift to the parent, they are more inclined to be the one to host the play date in the future.
There we go.
Which in essence will buy the parent more time, more me time.
Yes.
Yeah, and you know, here's the thing. If it's one of those things, sometimes I think a play date, it's so the kids can play, but you get a break, and if the kids are playing well together, then maybe mom or dad gets a break for a little bit. They're very, very useful. Okay, so here's my final one. It is bringing pajamas while traveling, and we actually did this last night. Take a look.
So I often drag my family out to evening photo shoots or fun little adventures that keep us out a little bit past bedtime. So one thing that we try to always remember to pack, along with all of the things, is the pajamas. So when the adventure's over, you get them all cozy in their jammies, in their car seats, and the hope is they fall asleep on the way home and you can just take them straight into their bed. And here's another hack within a hack. Download a children's stories podcast and they'll get a story on the way home. Rob will tell you which one is our kids' favorite. It's not working.
When she did the video, I was like, oh my gosh, this is like an infomercial. She is so good. They got it all figured out. And then Lincoln is like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And then when you fast forward it, and she's like, and I hear all the noise in the backseat, and you had this look on your face like, dude, when are we going to get home? How long did it take, Rob? Like, did you have success for like 20 or 30 minutes, and then it was all out craziness, or no success?
No, this is a 100% failure from the beginning. Because they knew that we really needed this to go well, so I had something for this show. So yeah, so they know, right?
They know.
They know.
They have a sensor built in them. They know everything.
You're on the plane and they're freaking out. Please, freak out. When we get off the plane, you can scream in that hallway thing. Whatever you want, just not right now.
Oh my gosh. Exactly.
So, but it does work a lot of the time.
A lot of the time.
And we heard this from somebody. Again, parenting hacks come from other parents,
Yeah,
right?
they
So
do.
somebody said, and we're always out doing things, and we hate driving in traffic, and we're always kind of pushing adventures late. So, and then I have to get up early, so I really need these kids to go to bed.
Yeah.
So my wife has this shoot out in Folsom. We had this great time. It was awesome. Get them in jammies, hoping that they'd fall asleep. But I would say this, even though that was an obvious failure apparent to all of us.
You tried.
Yeah, we all saw the failure.
Yeah.
You know, they were in their jammies, so that's one less step.
Okay.
So then it's brushing their teeth, and then they're kind of toned down, and then it's just one less thing that you have to do.
I like it.
So even if you know, it's not like the classic thing, like you carry them out and they're all limp, and you go like this and you put them down, and oh, you just sleep right there. They're just such angels.
That happens 20% of the time.
These children are just angels. Yeah, the transfer does not happen.
No,
so
it
that's a
doesn't.
hack. The other thing that my wife mentioned that, and you weren't able to hear that, is we download children's podcasts where it's somebody else reading the story for once. They're not on a device. They're listening to it. You can transfer the audio to the back. Mom and dad have a conversation in the front. It works often. For long car rides, it kind of breaks it up.
Okay, so I have a couple comments. Jessica Downey said that video was great. That's kids for you, Murphy's Law.
Yeah, for sure.
And then Darylyn gave you a clap. I think everyone related to that video because
Yeah.
you have in your head how you think it's going to go, and then reality sets and you're like, that is not what I was planning.
Okay, do you have maybe one final hack or final thoughts?
I do, and this is for the family with large amount of children like myself.
Because you have 5, right?
I have 6.
Oh, 6. Oh my
Left
gosh,
one
I'm
out.
sorry. Oh,
I
okay.
have 6 children, and it is
During the show, another kid just happened. You've always had 6 kids. We messed that up.
He's just
Sorry.
kidding.
That was that David Letterman coming in over there.
Okay, so this is my hack to give each child one-on-one individual time.
How do you do that?
Yes, it is so hard because, you know, when you're with 6 children, they
yeah.
all want your attention. So my hack is when I go to the store or when I go anywhere, I rotate taking one of the children with me. So on our way to the store, we make things fun. We listen to music, we sing together, we go to the store, we bond, we talk about things that's happening in their life, and when we go to the store, I'll let them pick out something. So it's kind of like our bonding time. And then the next trip, it'll be a different kid. So I make sure each kid get their time with me while I'm still getting things done for the household.
And do you find that after that trip, that for the next hours or even days after that connection really meant a lot to them?
It did. And then they'll follow up with me on what we talked about.
Oh, that's
so
nice.
it's really nice. They'll have things that they want to tell me. They don't want their siblings to know, our little secrets together. Let me not say too much before they watch this and I get in trouble. But yeah, it's really nice because it's our bonding time together, and we just try to make every time together in the car really fun and enjoyable.
I love it. Tracy?
Okay, so I had one final comment,
Yep.
and then I had one final hack. So the final
Okay.
comment is by Nikki G. Start looking at college scholarships in 9th grade. So it's just older kids. She said learn the qualifications, then have your kids focused around those instead of just doing the typical stuff. So it's like a pre-game strategy that she has. And my last hack is no food coloring. I
She's all about the
realized-
health food.
Well, yeah, because her personality changes. So whenever I had anything that was red, I don't have anything red. So if it has red food coloring, we avoid it because all of a sudden she's like crazy spastic and she's running around. And I'm like, what happened? And I'm like, oh, she ate that so-and-so. Oh, she drank so-and-so. So now I try, if we're out and I'm tired and she's tired, we don't buy anything with color. It needs to be neutral.
What about like natural food coloring? You see that out there? Every
I don't-
once in a while
I don't
it's
believe
made
that. I
from
don't believe
some
it.
organic berry from somewhere. Nope.
No, we don't do that.
Okay.
No.
And
That's a really interesting one. I like it.
you know,
Oh.
like
And
yeah,
you've seen a big difference in how she behaves and her
Oh,
personality?
she showed out on me in the airport one time. I call myself getting one of those little natural juices, and we're on the, we're near the gate, and all of a sudden she just went crazy. I was like, what happened? I was like, it was that juice. So I grab it and I start reading it. I was like, it's all the food coloring. And so we're trying to get on the plane. We're trying to board the plane. She's kicking the back of the seat. Person in front looking back at you, giving you the glare. All of that happened because we drank that juice.
And
so
how old is your daughter?
well, at that time she was probably 5 to 6. So I don't. From now on, I just stop with this food coloring.
so you will not be drinking a bottle of red number 5.
No, you will not.
Okay.
No.
Got it. Hey, thank you so much, Ashley. We really appreciate it.
welcome.
Tracy, of course.
Yeah,
love
that was fun.
And you might be hosting next week. I don't know. We'll have to see what the topic is. Hey, thank you guys for watching. All your comments, they mean a lot to us and to the other parents that are involved with this, so we can all learn a little bit more from listening to each other and also sharing what we know. Don't keep it to yourself. Share this stuff. It's good. This is 3 Moms and a Dad. We'll see you guys next week.